Good morning. Welcome to a premium public video forecast discussion for Monday, March 6, 2023. Well, the reason why we're doing a premium public video discussion is because of concerns for a clipper that's coming through tonight. I wanted to make sure everyone understood what we're looking at here and give some preparation so that way you don't get in trouble. Again, normally this is on the premium section, but because we haven't seen much in the way of snowfall this year, there could be some people caught by surprise by this clipper, so I want to make sure everyone is prepared. Currently, our observations are a bit chilly, but nothing too out of the ordinary for early March. Temperatures ranging from the mid-30s in your suburbs, upper 30s to lower 40s in your urban areas. Winds are from the west-northwest, around 5 to 15 miles per hour. Overall, not too bad of a morning, and that is because high pressure is in control. But trouble is brewing off to our west, as you can see on our weather tab, surface map, and radar, with our low pressure system right here being the culprit for tonight's little mischief, so to speak. So the key factor here is actually these upper level winds. You see, this jet streak here is going to intensify, and I'm going to show you it on the model guidance. And because of that intensification, it's going to stretch the atmosphere. So that stretching in the atmosphere leads to rapidly rising air, but not for everyone, in a very specific area. The problem? Well, for one, we're not sure of exactly the pinpoint area, and two, because it's so localized, someone's going to get hit with some heavier snowfall. But the question is really where exactly. So that's why this forecast is a bit tricky. And when we take a look at the water vapor satellite picture, you can see the intense shortwave here that we're going to be watching marching its way towards the region. Plenty of lifting. Nice little slug of moisture also over portions of Illinois. And we are also seeing that moving through the Mississippi River Valley. That is all heading towards us. Now notice, this is moving very fast. This is not a blocked up system or anything of that nature, or a blocked up weather pattern. Everything's moving very quickly from west to east. So that also limits the amount of time that you have for snowfall accumulation. On the infrared satellite picture, you can see plenty of areas of lifting here. So we definitely have an energetic system here to work with. But again, timing. Timing of all these features coming together will be the predominant influence in this forecast. So let's take a look at some of the model guidance. And one of the things I noticed, I wasn't really seeing this last night all that much, but now with the 0Z model guidance, we're starting to see this more and more. This jet streak right here at 250 millibars between, let's say, around midnight to 6 a.m. tomorrow morning. That jet streak right here, and you also can see it at 500 millibars. Very nicely. That jet streak right here is going to lead to intense lifting right over to the north and northwest of this center of the jet streak. So you're looking at northeastern Pennsylvania, somewhere around, let's say, the Appalachians in Pennsylvania into the Lehigh River Valley, and then around central New Jersey. In those areas, you're going to have intense rising motion. That's going to counteract some of the limiting factors of the storm, like the timing, the amount of moisture available, and of course the boundary layer conditions. So where is that going to be the most intense? Well, that's where it gets even more tricky, because you can see in this feature that the strongest lifting drops away from it. Drops away from the primary low pressure system. And that shows up also in our PVA here. Take a look at this. So it's very intense, and then it quickly exits. So this is a low pressure system where the lifting is going to be very fast moving, very almost like a flash, and then it's gone, right? So in this type of setup here, where you're seeing that type of signal showing up, you only have a very short duration to cool the atmosphere rapidly and produce the intense precipitation, have it accumulate, and have it kick out. So what you want to do then is focus on where exactly are we going to see the coldest environment. And at 850 millibars, temperatures are marginal. Cold enough, but very marginal. So what I want to look for is an area where the mid-levels and lower levels are cold throughout. And that's essentially central Pennsylvania and portions of northeastern Pennsylvania. The other little significant little feature I'm seeing here is this signal right here. Now, on some model guidance, this is further north. On other model guidance, it's further south. But the overall theme is this. There is going to be an area of intense lifting that's going to pull all the moisture from the lower levels of the atmosphere and pull it up into the atmosphere. And when you see this signal, it leads to convective banding, okay? But again, the convective banding is driven by the thermal gradient that's setting up and the lifting involved along with the jet streak. So what is interesting is watching this feature over the next 24 hours, especially for tonight on through tomorrow morning. This feature here, I think, will guide us as to where we're going to see that intense, heavy band of snow. Generally along and to the north of this low pressure system boundary. So based on that, this is some of the model guidance that we're seeing here. This is the NAM model guidance. Now the NAM model guidance does what the NAM does, in which is producing an extreme solution. So there's some solutions here that go up to as much as 9 inches of snow in portions of eastern Pennsylvania, especially from Allentown to Williamsport, okay? Here's the thing. That would need, in order to produce that type of snow accumulation with the speed in which this low pressure system is moving, you'd have to produce somewhere around 4-inch per hour snowfall rates. And that's something I'm just not prepared to forecast for. But just be aware that one thing is for sure on all the model guidance agreement is that this is going to produce a burst of moderate to heavy snowfall. This is the HRR guidance. You can kind of see the same idea, very fast moving bursts of snow. So tomorrow morning's rush hour is not going to be pretty, and there's definitely going to be some slick and dangerous roadways based on this little clipper diving through. And by the way, for those of you who have been going to the live chat who have been wondering what happened to our clippers, well, we finally got a clipper, and it could be a bit of a doozy. On the European guidance, it does the same kind of idea. It's a little bit further south. But again, notice the theme here on all these guidances. This low pressure system and the heavy snowfall, it's a burst, and then within a few hours, it's already collapsing. It's also showing up pretty nicely on the NAM model guidance too. Burst, and then it starts to collapse. HRR, burst, and then it starts to collapse. And of course, at the coast, we also have to deal with the boundary layer and whatnot that also complicates this forecast. Again, we saw the European here. So here's the general idea with this forecast. For Connecticut, southern New Jersey, those occasions like this, barely going to see anything. Rain, snow showers, a few flurries. This is going to be very, very localized. In zone 1, this is where I have a trace to 1 inch. The general idea here is that we get this burst of snow. The boundary layer is kind of warm. The lifting starts to weaken. And so I like this idea of basically a dusting as this low pressure system passes through very quickly. Basically between 10 p.m. tonight and 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. Zone 2, we're looking at 1 to 3 inches of snow, possibly a few bursts here and there. And then zone 3, this is where I got the heavier snowfall. Now, here's a caveat here with this. I expect some locations to bust in this forecast. And the reason why is because this is going to be a very narrow band. So I would not be surprised somewhere in here you get your 3 to 6 inches, but someone only gets 1 or 2 inches because the lifting's so strong in one location, sinking air kills off the snowfall in another. Same thing in zone 2. There could be a burst of 4 inches around Allentown, and then everything else collapses to around 1 or 2 inches. So it's a very, very difficult forecast. And when you have it where you have a low pressure system coming off the Appalachian Mountains and downsloping in this environment, it produces some very tricky gradients, snow gradients. So this is the best idea based on a average of all the model guidance I have in place here and based on some experience I have with these type of systems. So that takes care of our forecast for this storm. Let's go over the general forecast for today. High pressure will be passing over the region with sky cloud cover. Look for high temperatures to range from the lower to mid 40s over the northern interior, upper 40s to lower 50s along the coast. And if you're wondering, yes, that does influence your boundary layer, especially your pavement. Any type of treated pavement with this type of warm air out ahead of it is going to remain wet for most locations. The problem is that in those bursts of intense snowfall for tonight into tomorrow morning, in those brief bursts, it can overwhelm that environment and still accumulate. So it's something that for tomorrow morning, definitely watch out for those slick conditions as this low pressure system drops through. Low temperatures will range from the mid to upper 20s over the northern interior, where we expect the best potential for snow accumulation. Along the coast, lower to mid 30s, so temperatures are a little bit more marginal. And so if you have your temperature around 34 in the early morning hours, not full accumulation on the roadways, but still slick out there. The good news is that by tomorrow afternoon, we have skies clearing. Winds are from the northwest around 10 to 20 miles per hour, so they will be chilly out there, with high temperatures ranging from the mid to upper 30s over the northern interior, lower to mid 40s along the coast, so we will see some melting. Then we get a bit quiet. On Wednesday, high pressure will be in control with still breezy conditions, but overall sunny skies. Look for lows ranging from the lower to mid 20s over the northern interior, upper 20s to lower 30s along the coast. High temperatures in the mid to upper 30s over the northern interior, lower to mid 40s along the coast. On Thursday, look for sky cloud cover with high pressure in control. Low temperatures will range from the mid to upper 20s over the northern interior, upper 20s to lower 30s along the coast. High temperatures will range from the mid to upper 30s over the northern interior, lower to mid 40s along the coast, and mid 40s to lower 50s in the Delaware River Valley. On Friday, high pressure will again pass through the region with sky cloud cover expected. Look for low temperatures to range from the lower to mid 20s over the northern interior, mid to upper 20s along the coast. High temperatures will range from the lower to mid 40s throughout much of the region. Then things get interesting for Saturday and Sunday. Now, we're watching this storm evolve. Personally, I do not think we're seeing an all-snow event out of this. I really like the depiction that we're seeing this morning, where we have a low-pressure system redeveloping towards the New Jersey coastal waters. Still have plenty of warm air. This is happening during the day, so most of this is rain. Snow more likely for the northern interior. We'll have to keep an eye on this. But basically what you have here, I might as well show it here, is this bowling ball of energy just basically coming through and knocking down all the pins, right? So in this scenario, you have again, stretched atmosphere. You have a low pressure system that is basically transitioning while this upper level low swing through. Again, fast moving. This isn't going to be sitting around, sticking around, hanging out. It's going to be moving quickly Saturday afternoon through Sunday morning, and it is going to be booking. So in this scenario, let's just go for right now. We'll go for periods of rain and snow. We'll see how this storm actually evolves so that we can get better details. I mean, look, we're just dealing with this clipper, and this one really came fleshing out as far as the model guidance in the past 12 hours. So, again, we'll keep an eye on the evolution of this storm, but I kind of like this depiction the best here. Look for low temperatures on Saturday to range from the lower to mid 30s over the northern interior, mid to upper 30s along the coast. High temperatures in the mid 30s over the northern interior and upper 30s to lower 40s along the coast. On Sunday, the low pressure system departs. This feature right here is a little bit questionable. This could be a Norland trough on Sunday morning, but we'll see how that evolves. So Sunday morning we have precipitation, rain, and snow, and then it exits out here in the afternoon, evening hours. Look for low temperatures to range from the mid to upper 20s over the northern interior, lower to mid 30s along the coast. High temperatures will range from the upper 30s to lower 40s throughout the region. And then on Monday, We have high pressure briefly in control for a very short period of time before we keep an eye on yet another storm to watch for the middle of next week. Low temperatures will range from the mid to upper teens over the northern interior, lower to mid 20s in your suburbs, mid to upper 20s, possibly a few 30s in your urban areas. For lows, high temperatures will range from the lower to mid 40s over the northern interior and mid to upper 40s along the coast. So certainly a chilly, active start to March. We'll see if it keeps going. That is your premium public video forecast discussion for today. Thank you for following, and as always, stay safe out there.